Namaste and welcome to the Dharmavani podcast, episode 726. For today's katha, we go to the Valmiki Ramayana, Kishkinda Canto 22. We discuss Sugriva's sight of Sri Rama and Lakshmana. We explore Sugriva's inability to recognize the Lord at his door and its implications into our own lives. Our session blends local bhajans, kirtan and arti with insightful katha to illuminate the devotional and practical wisdom within this encounter. And if you enjoy the bhajans, kirtan and even the katha, Dharmavani is much more than just a podcast. Visit us at dharmavanimedia.com to view our mission and check out our publications. And now for the podcast. Jai Shri Ram.
Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vidase Raghunathanakaya Sitaye Patiye Namah. Jai Sri ॐ वर्णानामृतसंज्ञानाम्
Please join with me as we put our hands together. Close our eyes, bow our heads. We ask, O Lord, may the grace of Bhagwan Shri Ram, the blessings of Maharishi Valmiki, and the presence of Shri Hanumanji sanctify our speech, open our hearts, and guide this discourse today in pure bhakti and truth. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarubini Vidyaramba Karishyami Siddhi Bhavatu Sada. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwar Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. This katha today comes from Kishkinda Kand of the Valmiki Ramayana, Canto number 22. So we'll do a short recap of what we talked about last week. And last week we had quite a bit. We talked about the origin of Vali and Sugriva, who their parents were. Sri Rama had gone to, Sage Agastya had come to visit Sri Rama. Sri Rama had asked him 2 questions. Who is this Vali and Sugriva? And why didn't Hanuman help Sugriva? With all the power that he has, why didn't he help Sugriva when the time came when Vali was exiling him? We also shortly explored the childhood of Sri Hanuman. And in exploring the childhood of Sri Hanuman, we saw that after he had gotten all of those vardhans from all of the devatas, after he had gone and he had chased the sun and all of that, and he got struck down, he had gotten all of these vardhans, he had become naughty, and he would go and he would harass the sages of them when you see they were doing their pujas. And after a while they cursed him that he would lose his memory of all of these powers that he had. And he would only remember it when the time came that he needed that somebody reminded him. So when the time came to help Sugriva, when Bali was kicking him out, he didn't know that he had these powers, so he couldn't help him. Right? The parentage of Vali and Sugriva. Vali is the son of Lord Indra. Sugriva is the son of Suryadeva. And their mother and father is actually the same person. We had a very nice talk about that last week. Riksha Raja is the son of Lord Brahma, who had entered the pool and the pool had changed his gender. He came back out as a woman, and then he was blessed with 2 children. We talked about the demon Dundubi, how Vali had killed Dundubi and he had thrown the corpse at the ashram of sage Matanga. And this is why he couldn't enter the ashram, the area of the Rishyamukh Hills. This is why Sugriva and Hanuman, together with all the ministers and all of the people that followed them, lived in that area, because Vali could not get to them over there. So today we're going to pick it up from there, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this katha. But before we start, I want to ask a question. What is a vanar? We always hear this question. We always hear this term of vanar in the Ramayana, right? What is this vanar we talk about? Because we keep substituting the word vanara with monkey all the time, right? We also use the word kapi. And we use the 3 words interchangeably. And is it the same thing? We know that Vali, Sugriva, Hanuman, all of the people that came with them, they were all Vanaras, but were they monkeys? Right? The word monkey is actually kapi. It's not Vanara exactly. Right? In Balkan, chapter 17 of Valmiki Ramayana, the Sanskrit word there says, they are Mahabalaha. This is in speaking of Vanaras, it describes them as Mahabalaha, of immense power. It says they are Deva Tulya Parakramaha, possessing prowess equal to the gods. Kama Rupinam, meaning beings capable of assuming any form at will. Right? So this is a regular Vanara we're talking about. These are all the things that they can do. Sarva Astra Kusha Alaha, adept in all divine weaponry and tactical arts. So none of this so far sounds like a monkey. Right? This is a very advanced species of beings that we're speaking about here. The word itself comes from Sanskrit, and there's two origins. The first one is Vana Nara, and that one means humans of the forest or forest dwellers. And the other one is Vanara, which means, or is it human? So it's a rhetorical question that's being asked in that one. Right? Now, if you think about it, when Lord Brahma asked the Devas to take form on earth to assist Sri Rama when he comes, the form that they chose was not human. The form they chose was this Vanara form. Right? And they chose this Vanara form because of the power that it possessed. Right? So when we talk about Vanara in the Ramayana, we're not talking about a monkey. Now, the form itself resembled that of a monkey. It did. But the intelligence of this species was way beyond that of a monkey. And it's important that we understand that as we move forward. We start today, Sugriva. He's on the Rishyamukh hills. On a daily basis, he would do this. He would go from mountain to mountain and he would patrol and he would see what's happening. And on this day, he's up on the hills and he's patrolling. And he sees these two men, these two brothers. And they're like nobody he's ever seen before. They are big and they're strong. They are armed with bows and arrows and swords. And he sees them, he starts to panic. And he starts to run. He runs right back to his camp. And in his fear, he calls the ministers together. And he starts to tell them, look, I was just out there and I saw these two men. And this is what they look like. And I think Vali has sent them. I think these are spies of Vali. And I think they have come here to kill me. Vali can't come, so he got these two men to come and kill me. So Sugriva is the leader. And he is panicking. He goes to his ministers, he goes to those subservient to him. They see his behavior. What do they start doing? They start panicking too. Right? Hanuman is standing to the side and he's looking. Let me see what my leader will do. Let me see what my leader will do. Let him handle this. But Sugriva is not taking control of the situation, instead he's making it worse. The ministers start to panic and they start to, behave badly, and This passes down to the other members of their society. And they start to panic in such a way, Valmiki says they start jumping from one tree to the next, ripping apart the boughs of the trees, tearing apart the forest itself. Then the animals of the forest sees what's happening, they start to panic. And they start stampeding throughout the entire mountain. All because Sugriva sees something that he doesn't understand and he's afraid of. All because of fear. Now think about who Sugriva is, right? Sugriva is the grandson of Lord Brahma. He's a person of some privilege. He should know a little bit, right? He's a grandson of Lord Brahma. He's a son of Surya Dev. And think about the situation that he finds himself in. The Lord has come to his door. The Lord himself has walked to his house to seek his help. And instead of welcoming him, he doesn't recognize him. He doesn't recognize the Lord. And instead, he runs and hides. And there's a very, profound lesson for us to learn in that story. We go from day to day, living our daily lives. A lot of us, we're looking. We're here because we're looking. Right? We're here because we're looking. And we try to find God. We try to find that inspiration. Will we, when that time comes, will we find it? The day will come when a door will be opened for us. And it happens for everyone. Guaranteed. The door will be opened. And it's for us to recognize that opportunity has come for us to be able to open that door. Are we going to be able to see this is the Lord? Or are we going to keep walking and say, this is not for me? Lord, where are you? I still looking. I still looking. Sant Kabir sang this beautiful song. It says, O seeker, where do you look for me? The Lord is asking, O seeker, where do you look for me? And I am right beside you. I am not in distant shrines, nor in mere idols, nor in isolate retreats. The Lord stands before his devotees and he's asking these questions. मुकुंद हाथ उंगरे बंदे, मैं तो तेरी पास हूँ। मुकुंद हाथ उंगरे बंदे, मैं तो तेरी पास हूँ। मुकुंद हाथ उंगरे बंदे, मैं तो तेरी पास हूँ। ना धीरज, ना मूरत, ना ये काज पास हूँ। ना धीरज, ना मूरत, ना ये काज पास हूँ। ना धीरज में, ना मूरत में, ना ये काज निवास में, ना ये काज निवास में। मुकुंद हाथ उंगरे बंदे, मैं तो तेरी पास में। मुकुंद हाथ उंगरे बंदे, मैं तो तेरी पास में। मुकुंद हाथ उंगरे बंदे, मैं तो तेरी पास में। He says, I am not caught in mechanical chanting. If you're there and you just jumping beats, and you're not thinking about him, your heart is not in him, how are you going to find him? He can't be there. I I am not taught in mechanical chanting. I am not taught in penances or fasting. If you're doing your penances and you're fasting, and all you're thinking about is food and you're not thinking about Him, you can't be there. Now may jap mein, now may tap mein, now may bharta upas mein. By superficial rituals, nor by running away into renunciation. This is not where He is if your heart is not in it. If you're just doing it as a mechanical thing, just because you're supposed to do it, you can't be there. You won't find Him there. He says, if you truly seek with an open heart, you will find me in a single moment. Recognize the Lord, the Vanaras, they become frightened and they're running up and down. Hanumanji, he's seeing this and he decides, okay, I have to step in, because if somebody doesn't put an end to this, who knows where this is going to go. You all could keep the count. So he goes to Bali and he starts to speak to him. Now, if you all remember, a couple of weeks ago, when Sri Rama was in depression, Lakshmana, right, had gone and sat with him and started to speak. And we can compare what Hanuman is saying to what Lakshmana was saying. First of all, he tries to pacify him. He says, let this great flurry on account of Bali be given up by all. All this panic that we're panicking about Bali, just give it up. This jewel among mountains is no other than Rishyamukh. This fort that we're on, this is Rishyamukh. How can Vali get us here? There is no fear from Vali. He tries to pacify them. Then he says, I do not see here cruel Vali of ferocious aspect. They don't look like any kind of ferocious kind of people. They don't look like the kind of people that Vali would send. Because of whom you're running away? Perturbed in mind, O bull among Vanaras. So now he tries to boost their ego, he tries to boost their confidence. O bull among Vanaras. He builds their courage, reminds them of who they are. Then he turns around and he tries to shake it out of them. Too evident is the ape in you. This is where we were talking about earlier, Kapi. Right? This is where he would use that. Too evident is the ape in you, O bull among monkeys. Who due to light-mindedness are are not able to keep yourself fixed on a particular conclusion. Because your mind is not straight, because you're not thinking right, you cannot see what is actually happening. Surely a king, he's talking directly to Sugriva, surely a king who has taken recourse to thoughtlessness cannot effectively rule over all his subjects. Sugriva, you have all these people depending on you, and look at your behavior. You have to snap out of it. We compare this to how Lakshmana spoke with Sri Rama. And when he spoke with Sri Rama, he was able to snap Sri Rama out of it. Not that he wasn't depressed, not that he wasn't sad after that, but he was able to see what was happening, and he realized he had a duty to perform. And he put that ahead of everything else. He put that ahead of his sadness. Right? Hearing the words of Hanuman, Sugriva replied, "O Hanuman, who would not be frightened by the sight of these two warriors, possessed of unusually long arms, large eyes, carrying a bow and a sword on their persons, and looking like the offspring of gods?" So after hearing all of that, he still comes up with reasons as to why he should be afraid. He's putting aside everything that Hanuman has just told him, and still trying to convince himself why he should be afraid. So frightened is Sugriva that even though Hanuman is there trying to speak with him, he refuses to go and to face Sri Rama. He refuses for Rama to even see him. Then, in fear, he instructs Hanuman. He says, "You know what? We need to know who these two men are. We need to understand who they are." He said, "Vali is very intelligent. And we need to make sure they're not spies. Hanuman, if you're saying this, and you think that we're safe, then we need to make sure that they're not spies. Hanuman, you should go. Since you think so, you should go, and you should find out the nature of their visit." He says, through their body language, through the way they speak, through the way they look at you. You try to find out if they're friends or foes. And if they are highly rejoiced of mind, standing with your face towards me. So this is the sign that he knows they are good guys, because Hanuman is looking directly at him, right? Standing with your face towards me, ask them of the purpose of their visit, and then speak highly of me, right? Then speak highly of me, sing my praises again and again, and inspire confidence in them about me. So even though I am so afraid and I'm running around and I don't know what to do, go talk me up, make me look good. So Hanuman is there and he's saying, okay, if this is what you want, I am your servant, that is what I want. And Hanuman leaves and he goes. Now, over the past few months, we have been exploring the Ramayana. We've seen how families deal with different situations, right? And we've seen the Raghukul family, how they have dealt with things. And every time the opportunity comes up, you see that the other one tries to step in and take the brunt of the weight of what that person has to go through. Even if they can or they can't, they try to do it. You see, Bharata was trying to take Sri Rama's place in exile. No, he couldn't have done it, but he tried. He did everything he could. In Valmiki Ramayana, I think that takes up like 2 chapters. there and she's begging and begging. He speaks so badly of his own mother, of Kaikeyi, that Sri Rama had to tell him to stop. I don't want to hear this anymore. Don't speak about your mother like that. And he's doing this because he thinks he can talk Sri Rama into coming back. When we spoke about the Kabanda Katha I think it was probably like 2 or 3 months ago, we did Kabanda Katha, and we saw Lakshmana was ready to give up his own life so Sri Rama could live. He was saying, let Kabanda eat me so it will, pacify him and then you could get away. We see the Raghukul family, how they interact and how they deal with things. And on the other hand, we look at Sugriva's family and how they deal with things. We see the conflict between brothers. Right? And we see that even though faced with a reason as to what happened, Bali was told what happened. Sugriva Sugriva held on to his feet and tried to tell him, brother, this is what happened. He didn't want to hear it. Breakdown in communication, right? We see Sugriva unable to lead his family when the time comes. We see him succumbing to fear and all his ministers, all his people following him in that line. What type of a leader, what type of a parent do we want to be? This is the message of today's Katha, right? We see 2 families, 2 leaders, 2 parents. Which one are we? So next week, we will continue. I think it will be at Satyajyoti Seva on Saturday. And I keep promising that we will see Hanuman and Sri Ram together. I think this is the 4th week I'm going to say it, and I think next week we'll probably be able to do it. So at Satyajyoti Seva, we'll be able to do that. Please, Balaram Chandra ki Jai.
जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय अम्बे नमो नमः जय नारायणी जय 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 अम्बे नमो नमः जय अम्बे नमो नमः She's worshipping Mahadevi, Mahashakti, Gauri Bhuvaneshwari Durga Mata. She says that, oh Mother, your purifying name brings fulfillment in every aspect of life. Roma Roma me premati hari. In every pore of my body, there is love. There is love for you, O Devi. O Mother, O Mahashakti, I have now become your devotee. I am dedicated, devoted to you in word and thought and deed. Answer is humble prayer. O Mother, O Mahashakti, O Devi, the unadulterated love that I have for you will never ever diminish, but continue to flow. Manakar and Mandravadotam, your sacred name brings a joy to my heart. I find fulfillment in life just taking your name and remembering you. For you bring peace, you bring joy, you bring happiness, supreme bliss. You radiate true supreme love in my heart. Oh Brahmani, you are Mangala Sati. With you at all times you will be happy, you will be joyful. But that devotee who always remembers you will naturally gain supreme happiness. Manavajit Palavarsaye, you shall bring fulfillment of every wish, of every desire. O Devi, O Mahashakti, O Universal Mother, we glorify you. Jai Narayani, Jai Jai Ambe, Namo Namo. Jai Narayani, Jai Jai Ambe, Namo Namo. Jai Ambe, Namo Namo.
Amen. साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ॐ शान्ति अन्तरिक्षं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्ति